No, it's
We're live. We're live.
hello, guys. Hello, Andy. I'm so happy to meet you in the ocean in this great time, or doesn't matter. But anyway, hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Yes, obviously this is our terrific guest, Wenzel Fuchs today, and we've been comparing notes. Some of you have seen me wear this terrific T-shirt for COVID.
Ah,
We've got Beethoven with the mask on, but Wenzel was just in Austria, and he wants to show me up. Okay, he's got a mask, and that's a Beethoven is a duck, 2020.
yeah, yeah. A friend of mine made this for me, but I can. Do I have to carry it now? No, I can do
No,
it.
no, it's okay, Wenzel. We're far enough away. I think we're safe from each other.
Yeah,
So.
but it's not. It's not funny. Of course, it's funny, but not funny. Of
Of
course.
course. And that's why we're here. We're trying to we're presenting educational and entertaining
Yes.
things to get our minds off of the crisis, but also have some positivity, and we'll talk about that because obviously Berlin Philharmonic is doing very, very well. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but first I want to just say usually I talk about how I know the people. Wenzel, I don't even know when we met. I just feels like I always knew you, but I'm gonna guess 2005 in Tama, Japan,
Yeah.
clarinet convention. I think, but it feels like I've known you since before that. But I think I'm wrong. And since then, we've met in Taiwan and Hong Kong and Berlin and many parties and dinners and drinks after shows and particularly in 2012 I spent some time in Berlin and it seemed like you guys had a party after every single concert and I crashed it every time. So anyway, we're so glad you're here, but we want to just jump into it, okay? Because everyone's curious. I mean, Berlin Philharmonic obviously is a leader amongst orchestras, and Germany in its own way, and especially when it comes to culture and the arts and perhaps the way they're handling the situation is also a leader. So we want to start right away with something productive. We won't avoid the topic. We'll go right into it to give some help and education to all our musical friends and colleagues around the world. Can you talk about what is the Berlin Philharmonic doing right now? How are you working, performing, whatever? What's the requirements? Just let's get right into that.
Okay. The first after shutdown, we started we have this opportunity to play in the digital concert hall. You know, maybe you have this side at the Berlin Philharmonic Digital Concert Hall, DC, and we have our own hall. That's a very fantastic situation for us, and we could do something just for the internet, of course, without audience, but without physical audience. But this site, the digital concert hall, gave us the possibility to bring everything out from our fantastic concert hall. And we started with a chamber ensemble, and then we could have this great tour, a May tour in May, big Europe tour, and also Israel. We always have the first May concert, the television concert, the European concert. It's live worldwide. But this year, of course, everything it would be in Israel, in Tel Aviv, but everything was cancelled, like everywhere. So what we thought, we will do this first May concert in the television live, but of course it was not allowed to play in the normal stuff. On tour, the program of the tour was Sixth of Mahler Symphony. It was not possible because Mahler 6 is a huge orchestra. So we decided the other program, Mahler 4th Symphony. There is a version for a smaller orchestra, for a chamber ensemble. And we did this in the first May concert with Kirill Petrenko, our new chief conductor. Later on, I will speak about him also. And then we thought we could hear that many people have not these possibilities. So we thought we should bring this to everywhere, everyone, yeah, and continues these activities. It's of course it's free for us to play. Normally we have how you say, we are in holidays. We may not play, but it's not. It's free for us, for all the musicians. Berlin Philharmonic, we could do free. Yeah. So I thought it's a good thing, and I played many concerts. For example, this first May concert was the first after shutdown, the first orchestral project, and after we did every Saturday these chamber ensembles and chamber orchestra ensembles, but of course everything without audience. And the last what I played, it was a clarinet quintet Mozart with, but the problem was also the distances between the musicians. So we went on the stage and we had a discussion how we can play distance 5 meters the wings from the string players. So finally we found a position. I played to the audience, but it's empty in the hall, and the string quartet was behind me. I couldn't see them. So this was really strange situation, but finally we did it like this, because you know, if you do something in the rule, you have a rule, and you break the rule, it could be happened that after the concert, the government says, okay, no, it was against the rule, shut down everything. So we had to be very careful and very, yeah.
Okay, sorry. So let me just clarify. I mean, in our case, we actually brought the government. We're also starting. We brought the government in, and there's a very clear discussion about what they'll accept and what they won't accept. So you're saying if you do, okay. So let's just start with, what is your situation? You mentioned, for example, you needed 2 tests. Everyone in the orchestra needs 2 tests.
Yes, before we had the first rehearsal from first May concert, everybody from the orchestra, from the ensemble was tested 2 times. It was me and Emmanuel Bahut and Albrecht Meyer. So I mean, I don't know if you have a test or not. You are tested or not? I don't know, Simon.
No, we haven't needed to test. So we're just curious, because a lot of orchestras, friends of mine right now from orchestras and schools, they're curious, you know, about what does it take to get on stage right now in the Berlin Philharmonic. So first of all of you have had 2 tests, and over what period of time?
And that is not what you say. In the first May concert, we had a small chamber orchestra. So we all tested 2 times in 2 days and 4 days before the first rehearsal.
Okay.
So 4 days before and 2 days before the first rehearsal.
All right.
So, but the following projects, they were not tested. I don't know. They did not need a test. I don't know why, but you know, the rule changes every 2 weeks. You never know what to do. That's the problem at the moment also. You want to plan something, but the rule, okay, this rule yesterday, but 2 weeks, the rule is, so you never know what you do. And anyway, but the next projects, nobody was tested. But there was another project, and the government said suddenly, oh, we have to test it again. Yeah. So that's why I say, what we should do now? What is the plan? But anyway, from the orchestra, nobody was positive. I don't know why, because they traveled a lot, but everybody was negative.
Very good.
COVID, but positive in the mind. But anyway, yeah.
Now, do you need to be socially distanced from people in front of you or next to you?
But it was much bigger distance from the first May. It was 5 meters, and it was really far. We had just three wind players: the flute, Emmanuel, oboe was Albrecht, and me clarinet. We have 5 meters distance. Yeah,
wow.
We had. But now, 5 meters in distance to play an orchestral piece, a symphony, is impossible.
Yes.
So, but anyway, we managed it. And, but then after a while, the distance was reduced a little bit. Now I think minimum 1.5 meter, 1.5 meter. So this is okay.
No screens, no shields or screens.
No screens, no screens.
Okay.
No. I don't know how is the rule in Hong Kong. You need a screen.
We've been using them. Yeah.
But you are using, or in a normal concert also, right? Because
no, not the
no?
behind us, but in terms of next to us,
no,
we're using them now, but we never did before, even for chamber music. Yeah.
But we didn't have to. Yeah. But anyway, the next project, the first possibility we play with audience is now we are in holiday. We got the official holidays. Then the normal situation is the season ends with the Waldbühne concert. It's the Waldbühne is the open air concert. You know this, big stuff. But of course, Waldbühne it was not possible because
so, everyone that's a park. That's a park in. I just want to make sure that's a park in Germany, in Berlin, and I went to see you guys once. You check 5 there. So that's a very famous concert that they do. Even the rehearsals are a big deal.
Yes, there are 30,000 people in the there. And there was also Rolling Stones or it's pop concerts, but it's always our last concert. And then after this concert, it's normally end of June, and after this concert the holiday starts. No, usually, normally, and we start the season in August 22nd, 24th of August, the new season. So we will start the season with Gran Partita, what we already played, and we have two programs. One program is also with audience. One program is Gran Partita and Mendelssohn Symphony No. 1, and the second program is Brahms 4th Symphony and Schönberg Verklärte Nacht, with a bigger string version. So at the moment is the orchestra numbers of musicians I wrote down is for the Brahms Symphony on the stage, 13 first violin, 11 second violin, 8 violas, 7 cello, and 5 basses. And then with the same, this is 2 concerts in Berlin, and then we go to Salzburg Festival. You know, they will do it. The Salzburg Festival is not cancelled because the Vienna Philharmonic said, okay, we don't care. We want to, of course, we want to make the Salzburg Festival. What is a good way? I think they are very strong. And finally, the Salzburg Festival take place, and they play Electra. I don't know how they play the Electra. Electra it's not a chamber ensemble. It's really huge. No. So, but anyway.
So, sorry, is the audience socially distanced in Salzburg?
This is the step behind after. And then in Salzburg, the stage is very big. So we have another numerous of musicians. We try to play with 14 first violin, 12 second, 10 violas, 8 cello, and 6 basses. So we are at the moment. The plan is at the moment. You never know what is after the summer. What's the rule? Maybe the next shutdown. I don't know. You know, nobody knows. But at the moment, the maximal seats in the Philharmonic in Berlin is 2,500. So we will play the concerts with 600 in the audience.
Okay.
600. So with distances in front, beside of you. So we are punctual points. You know, I mean 600 it's not a lot, but it's more than nothing.
It's a start, And I think we go up to 40%. 40, we can go up to 40% capacity, which we won't start yet, but soon. The government's allowed that. And I just want everyone to know, New Zealand is just doing phenomenal. They don't have any live cases, and they literally are doing concerts with 2,000 people. Okay, Orchestra Wellington in the audience, not on stage, Wenzel. And
no. How is the government? What they think about? Is there no corona in New Zealand?
There's right now no active cases of corona. They
fantastic.
Yes, wonderful.
That's
terrific
good.
Government, terrific. Also, they love the arts, and they put a lot of money into that. And so anyway, I just want all of our colleagues and friends abroad. I know these are extremely tough times. We were shut down months before most of you. There is hope. There are different strategies going on, and and so please take this as a very positive sign. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Wenzel. I just have one question. Two weeks ago, I interviewed Michelle Zukowski, who, by the way, it's too early for her to get up. She'll catch the interview later, but she says hello and thanks you for doing such a good job of choosing her clarinet. She says that.
Oh yes.
And but ironically, after her interview, I saw that you guys were doing the Mozart Grand Partita live stream.
Yes.
So I listened
Yes.
on. And now I just want to make sure that was live streamed. But later on, will you post that on your website? Like, is it edited later on, or?
It's in the Philharmonic archive.
Okay.
It's already in. You can listen anytime.
But it's not edited. It'll just be the live concert that I heard.
No, it's not edited. It's just in the archive. You can if you have the page, the digital concert hall, you can listen it. Yeah, but it's
Wonderful.
not sold for something. No.
Fantastic. So thank you so much. So now we're going to get on to other things. Before we do anything, I've noticed you have some wonderful posters behind you of some of your concerts, and we would love to have a little tour of sunny Germany today and some of your posters and concerts.
Okay.
If you'd like to share that with us.
Okay. There's a piano. And okay. This guy, maybe Lorenzo, you know this guy?
Oh, yeah. Is he Italian?
You know? He's Italian.
By the way, this is Lorenzo, our extraordinary bass clarinetist and techie helper and friend. Thanks.
That's my
Sit down.
at a young age. Yeah, and I hope the Wi-Fi is strong enough.
Wait, so with the Botto, was that you playing a concerto with the Botto?
Yes, this was the Sylvester concert many years ago. I don't know which one it was. And there we go out. Let's see. It's in Berlin.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So you see, it's 30 degrees now at the moment.
Fantastic.
So and this is my homework with my wife to make salad and everything and flowers. You know, this is not only me. Maybe many musicians do the same. I don't know.
Great.
You know, but anyway, I'm very sad about the whole thing. You know, it's just to keep the mood a little bit up, but you keep the humor, but it's sad. You know.
Yes. No, we're all feeling it. Anyway, before we go on, we have a lot of friends who are saying hello. We have Pasquale Martinez from New York Phil. We have Frank Cohen. We have John Brusier, Maria Wong, Ayako Oshima, and Charlie Neidig. We have Mike Henson, Nick Cox, Oliver James, Paolo Beltramini, all kinds of fans all over the world for you.
Oh, I hate the time at the moment because I know them so well, and when I go to New York, I go out with Charlie and we go for dinner, and I take over his class in Juilliard, or when I stay in New York, I go to Pascal's place in Harlem. It's always big party, but it's a big friendship, and I say hello to everybody, and I miss you all really. But time will come back, I'm sure.
Yes,
excellent. But not in America. Our tour, we should go to States in November with Berlin Philharmonic, but of course it's cancelled. Yeah, in New York. Everything.
Yeah. Well, even the New York concerts are canceled.
Yeah, of course.
So, I know. Great. So, and how about the rest of Germany? Like, are the other orchestras? Have they been playing or just primarily a few, or just
I remember I got a telephone call last week from Alan Gilbert, and we are close friends, and he's a chief conductor in Elbphilharmonie in Hamburg, and he asked me to play one concert, but it's without audience, just for the radio and for internet. He did a modern piece, I forgot the von Adams, one big piece from Adams, and Fourth of Beethoven Symphony. But they most of them play until now without audience. I think the first moment is in August to open it for the audience, I think.
All right. So we're going to start from the beginning now. We started the present. We don't know the future. We're going to start at the beginning. So tell us about how you got started in the clarinet, your early teachers, what they meant to you, what they contributed, and so on.
Oh, it's a long time ago.
Come on, you can remember your own hometown.
I was born when Andy was born.
That's right.
Andy Simon. the same year, 1963, right?
Oh, thanks for giving.
You
You put the
are-
decimal point in the wrong place, man.
You are 1 month older than me.
That's true.
Right. I was born in March and he was born in February. So I was born in Innsbruck. Innsbruck is the main city of Tyrol, Austria. It's a part of Austria. But I grown up in Brixen im Tale. It's a small village, very small, near Kitzbühel. Kitzbühel is maybe a famous ski area. And that's why I decided to be a ski racer when I was very young, because my parents had a sport shop, ski shop. And so it was very near to follow this way of life. You know, I was in a ski gymnasium then, and besides that, I started clarinet with 9 years old. But then I wanted to be a ski racer, but I broke my leg in the downhill racing, downhill race after the final, and the foot was broken 4 times. So I stopped the career of the ski racer, and then I moved to Vienna as I studied a little bit clarinet in Innsbruck with Walter Käfer, and the first teacher was the Kapellmeister, conductor of the brass orchestra in Tyrol. It was traditional music, and but then I went to Vienna. I changed my ski sticks to the clarinet, and I went from the ski gymnasium to the music gymnasium in Vienna, and and entered the academy, the music academy. And first I studied a little bit Viennese oboe. Yeah, I played. I didn't push my clarinet away, but I started to study Viennese oboe. You know, Viennese oboe is different.
Yes.
It's a little bit different, bore and everything.
Sorry, I have a question. Is it Austrian oboe or Viennese oboe? I mean,
Viennese oboe.
It's actually different from other places in
It's
Austria.
absolutely. It's
Wow.
only played in Vienna. Vienna. Yes, only played in Vienna, and it's a kind of old instrument. But I learned. I moved to oboe because the first oboe player of Vienna Sinfonica, Jörg Schäftlein, he passed away many years ago. He passed away, and he was buying skis in my shop in Tyrol. So he was speaking with my mother on the cassette, on the check, and then he said, "I'm a musician," and my mother said, "Oh, my youngest boy is also a musician. He likes music." And then I played for him in the shop, backstage in the shop. And then he said to me, "Come on, go to Vienna and learn the oboe." I didn't know how the sounds the Viennese oboe, but in this time I already listened Berlin Philharmonic, and I heard the oboe player Lothar Koch. He was in Karajan's time. Amazing sound. I liked very much. So I thought, okay, I like very much the sound, so I will do it. And I was 15 years old. And then he said to me, "Okay, you have a good technique, and it's good for you because in the future many positions are free, and do this." And I developed very, very quick. But then in the heart, the clarinet was my instrument. Yeah. So I came back, I quitted the oboe, and I came back to the clarinet 100%. And then my teacher in Vienna was Peter Schmiedl. Peter Schmiedl he was the former solo clarinet player, principal clarinet of Vienna Philharmonic. And he was also the teacher of Ernst Ottensamer and Hans Hindler and Norbert Deubel. He was a clarinet fabric, yeah. And then I got the position, first professional position in the Vienna Volksopera as a principal clarinet when I was 19. It was 1982. And then I was there 5 years. I played a lot of operettes and opera and musicals, so it was very good for the beginning and for the music, and to play operetta. Operetta is fantastic. Johann Strauss and Leha and so, you know.
Yeah.
And then after I got the position in the radio orchestra, RSO, Radio Orchestra Vienna, Austrian Radio Orchestra, and I was there for 6 years, from 87 to 93. And then I just built my house in Vienna. My baby was there, just got a baby. Yes, Stephanie. And she was 2 months old. And then we just entered to the new house. And then I made the audition it was a house in Vienna. And then I made the audition in Berlin Philharmonic and I got the position. I said to my wife, no, the new house is great, but we moved to Berlin. So then we are rented to somebody, and now we sold it later. But then
okay, so hold on. So now I have some questions since you brought up the oboe. Now, is there a difference between Viennese clarinet and Austrian clarinet, like there is an oboe, or just Austrian clarinet, or what?
You know, this question is always very difficult because, you know, I think the sound is in your head. You know, generally, I don't care really about the system. I don't care about the mouthpiece. I don't care about everything. If somebody sounds good, let him play. Let him go on. Don't disturb him. But of course, there is a tradition, but the question was different between German and Austria. It's just the bore. But what means? You have also some boards in the French, different boards. You can get different boards. French is French. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we should not make too many stories about Viennese and German and blah, blah, blah. We should, I hate this discussion sometimes, you know, but then you never find a really good answer because in the end effect, the player is the most important.
So which is your mother tongue, right? If you don't play in Berlin, if you went to do a solo in Japan, would you feel more comfortable on the German or the Austrian clarinet? Or just does it matter?
I must say I did a mixture. I got the position with the Austrian clarinet, with Ottmar Hammerschmidt, and also Michelle Zukowski. She told me. She made the first recording, the Weber Concertino, with the Austrian clarinet from Hammerschmidt. I heard in the interview. Yeah. And I always played the Hammerschmidt. The Tirol, it's made in Tirol, in Wattens, yeah. Still make clarinets. But then I won the audition in Berlin Philharmonic, and Karl Leister just quitted the contract, so I got his position. And not only his, the other principal clarinet position was also free. So it was Alois Brandhofer, yeah, Austrian guy. Yeah. But there was no principal clarinet, so I got one position of this, and I played 1 year with the Hammerschmidt clarinet in the orchestra, Berlin Philharmonic. And then I tried the orchestral Wurlitzer. Karl Leister played on this set very long. And I took over this instrument and I thought, oh, I like very much. It's more center, it's more focused. Yeah. And then I felt so comfortable. Then I moved from the Austrian to the German way, but I still play the Austrian mouthpiece. Yeah. Oh. It is more, Austrian mouthpiece is more narrow and very long facing. That's different, yeah. But maybe you know, the clarinet player know about the very narrow, the Austrian is very narrow, yeah. But of course you need, the important is the combination, yeah. You cannot go and somebody asked me, can I buy your mouthpiece in the shop? Yes, you can. And then I buy the mouthpiece and take, I don't know which reed. He said, oh my God, does not work. Of course that does not work. The important is the combination, yeah. So a narrow mouthpiece needs a very strong reed, otherwise it closes up, yeah. But until now, I played this combination: Viennese mouthpiece and German clarinet. So.
And sorry, when you won the audition, was it on German clarinet or Austrian clarinet?
Austrian.
Really?
On Austrian.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So tell us about the audition. How do you get into the Berlin Philharmonic? First of all, is the entire orchestra listening? That's what I understand. Everyone, the violins, the blowers.
I don't know how is the situation in the States or in Hong Kong. Do you have a committee or the whole orchestra is working?
Yeah, usually there's a committee, but as I understood, I remember hearing Albert Meyer talking about, be sensitive to the string play if you're spinning things out too much. I mean, think about all the orchestra on stage.
Yeah.
Is it the whole orchestra or just the committee?
Yes. My first auditions in the Volksoper, the radio orchestra in Vienna, it was a committee. Okay. It was behind the screen. But in Berlin Philharmonic, you have never a screen because the whole orchestra is voting. So you come on the stage, maybe, I don't know, maybe 80 invited, 80 candidates, and you have this KO system, round by round, and then the last one, and you play on the stage, and the whole orchestra, maximum 128. We have 128 musicians in Berlin Philharmonic.
Yeah.
And
On the
they are
committee, are they 128
yeah,
people listening?
the committee is the orchestra. And
Wow.
I think if you have such a big committee, you don't need a screen. You know, you can. It's very objective. If you have a big audience, and then you are the winner of the audition. Then there is a next votation, and the whole orchestra you have to have over 50% of all votes, and then you get in. And then after you got the position, you have a trial time for 2 years. And after 2 years, the whole orchestra there's a meeting, and you have to have 75% of all voices. Yeah, even the chief conductor has one voice, only one voice. It was different in Karajan's time, you know. Karajan was very strong, and he was always working not against the orchestra, but he thought he can say more than the orchestra. But you know, this story with Sabine Meyer. It was many years ago. Yeah, and Karajan wanted to engage her, and then the orchestra was not against her, but she was very young, and there was a big fight between Karajan and orchestra then. Yeah, so but now we decided that everybody has the same right and the same power in the voice. Yeah, so after 2 years, if you get 75%, over 75%, you get in until you die, or you play, you retire, or of course, if you play bad, you will leave the orchestra. You will leave the orchestra.
And is there a mandatory retirement age?
We have to leave the orchestra with latest 67 now. It's I before was 65.
Mm.
But I am so young now. It's different. I have to work until 67. This maximum. In America, I know Stanley was working 150 years. I don't know. He was how old was he? How old was he when he played the last concert?
Yeah, I think he was over 80. He was over 80.
Yeah. This is not allowed in Europe or in Germany, also in Europe, I think.
Yeah, amazing. Great. And by the way, now this idea, is this true for all the orchestras in Germany? Will they have a committee?
Yes. No.
No. The auditions I'm talking about.
Oh, they're handling different. Some orchestras I think I heard that in Bayerischer Rundfunk, Munich, they have the whole orchestra, but I think the most other orchestras, they have a committee.
Right.
Like in Vienna also, you have a committee with 22 people in Vienna also, yeah, in Austria.
Great.
But
you also take pride in the not just on the auditions, but there's really an artistic committee in the orchestra that basically runs the show. I mean, I've talked to so many people in your orchestra that are very sort of proud of the fact that it's not managements and music directors, but they're kind of in charge. And it seems to be pretty successful. So I'm wondering if other orchestras wouldn't mind using that as an example a little bit.
I think because we are one of the only orchestras who make their own rules.
Yes.
Yeah, the most other orchestras have the rules given for somebody, even not the musician. They give rules. How can they give rules? And we have to accept this rule. It's not possible. We have to make the rules.
No, trust
and
me.
We have to make,
it's possible. It's possible. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Yeah. But you know what I mean. It's we know 100% how it goes on. And if somebody in administration gives the rule, it's always very often it's really a catastrophic. You know. And
Has the Berlin Philharmonic ever gone on strike?
No.
Wow.
Never.
You know, I talked to
because why we should go on strike? We make the rules for ourselves.
True.
Why we should? Then we change it.
Who are you going to strike against? Exactly. Yeah. I understood it though, some people in some other reputable orchestras in Germany that I've talked to say it's like a national union, and sometimes a more famous orchestra will go on strike to help in a way a less famous orchestra, because notice that's quite remarkable to me.
Yeah, I know. This is in a way it's a good thing to make a strike. You mean this one? It's a good thing to give a sign for everybody.
But
you
but
know?
it's a national strike in a way. It isn't just like one orchestra.
No, I know. This is acceptable. We should do this strike sometime. But if you strike now, at the moment, it's not a good way, not a good time, because the government is happy. We strike, okay. We don't have to work again more to open the concert halls. We are right. So we have to fight against the government. We all together have to fight against the government and to accept the culture. Not only business, but culture is also business. They forget this always. You know, what we have, what we when Germany has no orchestra, no theater, no museum, nothing. You think the people will go to Germany? No. They need this culture, and this is also in the second hand. It's business. There is incoming money, and not only. We have to really to fight against this meaning of some politicians. Yeah, I will not say names. You know, some names are very, you see every day in the news. Even in America, you see one name always in the news. But I don't want to say the names. You
know. Now, having said all that, I think this is really important to talk about in this time. So many governments are telling us we're not essential workers. Musicians, clarinetists aren't essential workers. But I think Germany does view you as essential workers. I've seen it, at least in the news and in the way they help and support it, and they seem to really value that. Are you essential workers in your mind or in Germany's mind?
I think so. We are. It's very important to have these directions, I think. And we are lucky to be, how can I say, a presenter of Germany. Berlin Philharmonic it's a
ambassador. You're ambassadors. You're a
yes, yeah, like an ambassador, and that we are in the lucky situation. But we should really. All orchestras, not only Germany, not only Berlin, we should find a way to work together. Is it possible? I don't know, but we should demonstrate against the negative influence, I think, if there is a possibility. I don't know.
I remember so many stories talking with you and some of your colleagues. I mean, there's actually a cachet of being in your orchestra, meaning it's more than just a legitimate profession. It's actually quite a respected one. Did you say that you joined a country club or a golf club? They said, look, if you give us one recital a year, you can be a member because you're in the Berlin Philharmonic. You're a solo after all.
If you, for example, if you want to join, you're going to get a ticket, a year ticket for a golf club. And then they say, okay, you can have, if you play in Christmas time, play one concert, one clarinet quintet. And then you get the entrance for 1 year. So it's very easy then. But I'm not really coming and playing golf, not yet. I want to start. My wife always wants to start. I know you're a very great player, right? You play,
no, not golf. I play tennis.
You are a tennis player, I remember. Yeah. You play. Everybody know you from tennis in Hong Kong. I remember. Oh yeah. So,
I played with Andy Ottensamer in Hong Kong.
Yeah, he's a good tennis player.
And Stefan, of course, the third horn player.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah.
Oh, Stefan, the American guy.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
And I remember talking to someone. We were in Taiwan. Again, you had an after party, and they were saying that normally they were having certain mortgage problems, but when they said they came in, they said, well, we're with the Berlin Philharmonic. They said, well, that's okay. We'll help you along a little bit. This is considered very, very good, good position. So you're Beamter. You're actually civil servants in Germany.
Yeah.
Not just government run, but civil servants with all the.
I want to say the Berlin Philharmonic is a foundation civil right. It's like a foundation, the kind of foundation civil rights. Yeah, it's from the government, from the Senat Berlin, and also from the government. It belongs to this community. Yeah. So we are happy to get a little bit money from, not a little bit, but we are how can I get the basic of this?
Right.
Yeah.
But now, is it true that in Germany all auditions are open to anyone in the world. It's not a visa issue. It's open in theory to anyone from any nationality.
Except, yeah, every nationality is open for every nationality, but just one situation. We have this German system, you know. This is the tradition, and it's also in the orchestral academy. We call it the Karajan Academy. Yeah. So there is the academy is quasi the step before the position in the orchestra. But they are trained to find the way of playing in the orchestra. So they have a. If you want to know about the Karajan Academy, it is interesting maybe for you, for many people. This is it was founded by Herbert von Karajan in 1970. Yeah, and first the name was Orchestral Academy of Berlin Philharmonic, and then after 2017 they changed the name because Karajan was founded this. They changed the name to Karajan Academy. So it's a 2 years scholarship, 2 years. Everybody can apply. Of course, the problem is just the situation with the clarinet. Yeah, we have this rule: German clarinet, German or Austrian fingering. You know, it is still in the orchestra, still in this situation. What I'm a little bit sad about this, because you know, I told you my students in Salzburg, in Mozarteum, I'm teaching there as a professor, and they're 90% play French clarinet. So 3 of them they switched to German clarinet, but 2 of them play both systems. You know, it's possible to play both systems in a very quick way. It depends on the human being, on the how smart he is. But anyway, but we have this rule, and the answer is every nationality, just the clarinet, has a problem with the system, and this is still the rule. You know,
still is the rule, right? I have a question. I mean, we understand the quote protection of the German system in Germany, but you must also have, between the von Karajan Academy and even some students in Salzburg, people that play German clarinet. Are people learning German clarinet and actually trying or getting jobs outside of Germany with the German system clarinet? I don't know.
The German clarinet is played in Austria, in Germany, and some parts the Concertgebouw Orchestra.
Oh, that's and maybe Switzerland. I don't know.
With some parts in Switzerland, but very rare. But the only orchestra was in some parts in Swiss, Austria, Germany, and Concertgebouw. But now I think in Concertgebouw are all play French system now. Yeah, it was. They played. Some of them played Reform Böhm clarinet from Wurlitzer, the finger in French or German. But I don't think it's so different.
Well, now who was the music director that hired you, or was the music director when you were hired? Yeah, when you came to
Claudio, this guy behind me. Claudio was in the audition.
And how many years did you serve under him?
I played 9 years.
Wow,
9 years.
And
we had a lot of.
What was it like? What did he bring? What did you get from him, or how did he influence the orchestra in your view?
You know, it was right after Karajan. You know, Karajan. You have so many recordings, and you see still in the shops you see Karajan. I mean, he was a master in doing this business. Yeah, he was the beginner. He studied this labels and the business. He was really the founder of this business, and he was a magic guy in making this. But I mean, the orchestra played many recordings. It was the whole time of Karl Leisler, for example. Yes. Yeah, he did the whole stuff, and he had the possibility to record everything, because before was nothing recorded, so nearly nothing. And then he was there was the doors open. Karajan, he played in Karajan orchestra. And I can record everything. Immediately was Deutsche Grammophon and everybody. It was open for everybody. If you stay in the Karajan band, Karajan orchestra, because of Karajan. But anyway, it was, I think, after Karajan was Claudio. And Claudio, it was not Herbert von Karajan, it was Claudio. And Claudio said, no, don't say don't say a maestro to me. But he's Italian. Normally Italian, everybody say to the next conductor, everybody is a maestro.
Wait, hey, listen, the Italian bass clarinetist makes me call
I know,
maestro.
but he's also a maestro, right? Lorenzo, you are a maestro.
Yeah,
Yeah, maestro.
Yeah, but anyway, but he opened many things. I think in the era about, I never played with Karajan. He passed away 89, and I entered the orchestra 93. So of course I know many recordings, as you and there's many others, but I never played with him. So and Abado, he wanted to play different. He wanted to play not doubling everything, Brahms symphony with 4 clarinets and a huge orchestra, always like, it's like a big track. Yeah, of course. The orchestra sounds very heavy, heavy and deep. You think it's deep. Yeah, it's a placativo. It sounds very deeply. But in the second after the wall, I missed something. Of course, Karen was in his mind, his sound, what he wanted to have was great. But in a way, he was always doing in the studio, in the table, change the acoustic, change the dynamic, brought out more solo, the solo louder. He manipulated many things until he was happy with the recording. Yeah, and I remember one situation. We played the first Brahms symphony, and Andreas Blau. He was a long time. He was so long principal flute, Andreas Blau, and he played in front of me, and I said to him, "Oh, Andreas," I said to him, "Andreas, yesterday I listened you when you played with Karajan, and the solo in the last movement. You had a bigger sound when you were young, and he turned around. Yes, you know, because I was in the studio after, and Karajan was said, Fred, a bisschen lauter." But then, okay, the result was great. He played louder than 4 horns, and but in the end effect, if you listen this, you think, wow. But in a way, I think it was not always really, wie sagt man, natural, yeah, realistic. It was not really realistically. And after Claudius, I think he thought about the same. I want to give the musicians the possibility to bring out their own musicality and the individual musicality. Let them play. As long everything is clear, I think the same. If somebody, a student of mine, play very free, play very free, and as long as it's clear, I will not disturb. If it's not clear, you have to say something. You know, it's normal in the life. It's everything. Everything what you do, if it's clear, nobody will say something against. And so the orchestra was very much younger than before. If you listen all the recordings, only old guys, no girls in Karajan, only the harp player maybe, but only, you see, I don't know why it is like this. They all looked very old. If you look their old recordings, why they all look so old? I don't know. Maybe it's the same glasses, and but anyway, after 93, when I started, so many young people, young members started. For example, since 93, 80 new musicians, remember. And in my time, for example, the 1st of September 93 started Emmanuel Bahut, Albrecht Meyer, he was half year longer than me, but and then Stefan Dohr, 2 concertmasters, solo cello, 2 basses, solo viola. It was really, we all started in the same time. We had, and the good thing is, we had in the same time, we had the same time, the trial time, you know, and we had the same situation in this way. So we have been friends. We grow together, and after, if you have the same problem, you grow together, you help together, and we had many contacts, personal contacts. And that is also a good thing that we have meeting beside the orchestra, a lot of meetings. We went out on tour. We always go out and we have fun, and we discuss about the next concert because we are good friends. And if you have a good friendship, you play better. If if your neighbor is not a good friend of you, you let him there. And if you're a good friend, if there is a friend of you, he played the flute, for example, and the flute turns around, give you the solo over, and you take over. It's like a game. It's like a basketball game, And that is a good thing that we have to try to bring also in the other orchestras, and we try to keep this. And it was the Abbado time. Abbado was like this. He was always with us. We went out with him in the restaurant. We have been many times in Italy, of course, and we loved to go to Italy for tours in Torino, Lingotto, or in Ferrara, and it was so fantastic. And we went out after concert. We always went out with Claudio, but we say not Maestro, we say Claudio, because he said to us in the official rehearsal, he said, "Oh, don't say Maestro, say Claudio." Yeah, but the problem was some young musicians thought it's the two Claudio. Friend, you are my next friend, but it means in English you have not the tu and sie, she and you. Tu and sie, you have not this. You have just you. But in German you have this, and Claudio, it means si Claudio, not tu Claudio. That is the misunderstanding. But Claudio, yeah, and but he was very open. And also after when Simon came, Simon Rattle.
So those are the only two music directors you served under?
No, now it's Kirill Petrenko.
Yes, sorry, yeah. So these three, it was Simon immediately after.
Immediately after Claudio, yes. And Simon did a totally different way. He was very open for education. He did a lot of education. He's so great in making connections and contacts with young people. We had this fantastic trip to Asia, and also this Rhythm Is It, with Le Sacre, with young kids from the slums and so, and there was a dancing project, and this was created by mainly by Sir Simon Rattle. And you met him in this bar after concert, remember?
Yes.
You never forget this. And he was also very open mind and very friendly, and he was a guy who said, work together, hey guys, now we have together a concert. And I think this is a very important thing. You have the feeling, you go on the stage, and you have the feeling, now we have a meeting together, and let's do the best of this moment. I think this is important. This old stuff, there's the hero, the dictator, like, Celibidache, like this. It was different time. But okay, there was the time. And also Karajan nobody said to him, Herbert. Nobody. Everybody said to him, Herr von Karajan. If somebody had a question, the orchestra musician, Herr von Karajan. No, Maestro, no Maestro. Herr von Karajan, or a Maestro, yes. But anyway, everything changed. And I think the dictatores, it's very hard to accept these guys, at the moment.
Well, I want to ask you because the first time I heard Berlin Philharmonic, I'm going to say roughly 35 years ago when I was a student in New York, and it was von Karajan playing at the Met, and he got sick. It was right towards the end of his life. He got sick. At the end, James Levine conducted.
Yeah.
But I wanted to hear von Karajan. I remember just every time they came to New York, Berlin, and especially von Karajan, it was such an event. I mean, you would have basketball scalpers, scalping tickets in Carnegie Hall that I had never seen in classical music, But what I want to say is I didn't actually, unfortunately, get to hear him that time. But I noticed, as you said, other than Stefan, I guess it was the token American. Everyone was a man. Everyone was German. Okay, and you know, and people. I remember being extremely impressed with the blend of the whole orchestra. Usually, it's already impressive if the clarinets blend well or the woodwinds, but the whole orchestra, it seemed, blended well. But for me now, especially, it's funny. Our music director Jaap van Sweden, he always said,
I know him.
you know, yeah, when we don't play together, the woodwinds, and so he says, why don't you move more like the Berlin Philharmonic winds? You know, like back then you were scolded for kind of moving and being, but now you guys are so uber expressive and you move and I you know, it's really, it feels like it's a little bit changed. Of course, the blends there. But what I'd like to ask you also is, I mean, that was only 35 years ago. What was the evolution to now? You have so many, you have Australian musicians, you have Japanese musicians. I mean, they're from all around, American.
And you have girls.
And you have a lot, you have a good representation of women. So like, how quickly did that happen? Like when you got in the orchestra, what was it like? Was it only halfway there, or was it already different?
No. When I started, I mean, I told you, 93 was a really break. And a break means many young musicians and many international, many different countries entered the orchestra since 93. But women, we had, when I entered the orchestra, there were just 4 women. Now we have 18, 19 or 20. I don't know. But,
right.
But it really was a break. 93 was a break, yeah.
I see.
Because the orchestra totally opened for everybody.
Right. Very interesting. So, you've made so many recordings, I guess, already with the Berlin Philharmonic. Are there any that you're in that you're particularly proud of? Like you think you and or the orchestra, this is really, you know, one of the really special recordings that we should go out and listen to. Do you remember any of those?
In the orchestra?
Yeah, let's start with that.
For example, some moments I never forget, for example, was with Claudio Abbado. I never forget these moments. It was Italian tour. I told you before, I liked very much Italian tours. And there was one tour in Teatro Massimo in Palermo. And we did the Brahms violin concert with Gil Shaham and the New World Symphony, Dvorak. And I never forget these moments. In the right balcony was the mafia, left was the balcony was the government. So they said, hello, how? But it was a special concert. And you can see this concert. It was the first May concert. It was a television concert. But it was an amazing situation. And on the stage also, it was one of the best concerts I think what I played. Of course, many concerts, but this was really special for me. But one, maybe the most special concert for me, and I must say it was with Carlos Kleiber. I played with Carlos Kleiber. It was 1994. We played the 4th Symphony by Brahms and Coriolan Overture, Beethoven, and also Salzburg Symphony, Mozart without clarinets. But I never forget these moments because Carlos Kleiber, I don't have to say something about this. Everybody knows, you know. He was for me the greatest ever being. Yeah, I don't know what you think about Carlos Kleiber. I mean,
no, but I remember you've always talked about him as
I mean, nobody. It was just the possibility to play with him once, and right a short time after he passed away in Slovenia. Yeah, he comes from, his wife was from Slovenia, and before he came to the first rehearsal, we had an orchestral meeting, and the tenor was, don't speak with him, because if you say before the rehearsal, if you say a wrong word, he will go out and go to the airport and go fly away. So he was very sensitive, and it was happened in Vienna Philharmonic many years ago. There was something in the rehearsal, Beethoven 4th Symphony. Maybe you know the story.
No, I don't. Please
Second movement, it's in the internet. Second movement, Beethoven Fourth Symphony. Bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, ba, bam. Yeah, and he said, and the second violin played da 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 da. Why you play da 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 da? Play da ba, bam, ba, bam. And then there was no, it's not good. No, it's not good. Not good. And this was rehearsal, tenor rehearsal. Evening was concert in the Musikverein in Vienna. And my teacher told me this, Peter Schmidl told me this because he was playing. And then he said, don't play, da, 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 play. There is, the name, yeah. And then they played like this, and the viola played, da, da, ba, 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 and then, why you don't play, there is. Ich spiele die ganze Zeit, there is. And they went out and to the airport, Schwechat, and out of the hotel, airport, and flew away. Yeah. And in the same time, Lorin Marcel was in the city, and he jumped in. He took over. I mean, Lorin Marcel, you know, he can take over everything. He was he was one of the greatest conductors ever. And he jumped in. There was just a small rehearsal before, I heard, and he heard the story about Therese, and then he said to the second violin, "Don't play Therese, play Marcel." And then I played, and he did the concert. Yeah, this is just one story, but this story is true. And then, of course, we did not speak a lot with him backstage. We know the Philharmonic backstage is everybody meets there. It's a meeting point. All the conductors, singers, solists, orchestra, we meet behind the stage. There is the cantina. So this is a very nice situation. And Carlos Kleiber was there, eat his sausage there, yeah. And I was very late on the stage. I was still in my garderobe, and I wanted to go on the stage, and I saw in front of me Carlos with his pullover, with this green, blue pullover, old-fashioned, and I was behind him, and I spoke with him, Maestro. I said, Maestro, and he turned around, and then, and I thought, oh my God, what I did. I was the guy who disturbed everything. And I said to him, I'm so proud that you're here, and I'm so happy. And then he said immediately, but I'm not happy. Oh my God, the second mistake. And I thought, really, I want to kill me. And then he said to me, I'm not happy with myself. It's himself. He was not, because, you know, in the Philharmonic, I'm standing so high, and the audience is just behind me, and we should make opera together. And then I thought, okay, it is himself. He's so sensitive and so crazy. But then the rehearsal started with him, and he came out, Coriolan Ouverture. And he came on the stage, and everyone was clapping with the sticks. And then before he started, he asked, do you know Duke Ellington? Of course we know Duke Ellington. And he told us he was in the concert, and Duke came on the stage and looked to the audience. In the rehearsal there was no audience. Yeah, it's like now the concerts, COVID concerts, and you know. And Duke Ellington showed with the finger around his orchestra, and then he turned around, and we start. And the Coriolan starts with a long note, the crescendo. Yeah, and now we rehearse this. He was coming on stage, looked to the empty audience, and he said to the orchestra, "Now start." We did 3 rehearsals of that. Just the part. But anyway, and then the concert was amazing. Brahms' 4th Symphony, 2 concertmasters knew, Kolja Blacher and
we worked with
Kolja Blacher, you know, and the other one I don't know. And they started. They had the violin like this, and he was like this. And they were silent. Nobody started, and he was like this. And then he said to the violin, "Wolf, who is that second? Kolja." He said, "Why you don't play?" I don't play. Da, 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 da. No. Start now. You have to feel. It was about in the fact, the concert was amazing. I don't know. It was just a feeling, you know. Sometimes you have these moments. You feel so great in this moment, and then you listen later the concert. You think, it was not so good. You know, sometimes you have this feeling. You are totally enthusiastic. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yes.
In some moments, you are totally enthusiastic, and then you listen later on, you say, oh, it was not so good. But I listened this because it was not an official recording. It was a black recording. Somebody from one Japanese and one, I don't know, they made a small recording in the audience. And you can hear it in the internet. You have this in Carlos Kleiber, Berlin Philharmonic, 94, Brahms 4th Symphony. It was the quality was not good, the quality of the recording quality. But it was really amazing. I never forget these moments, you know.
Wow.
This is good. And I'm happy that I'm a member of this orchestra because all the great conductors come to us. This is a good thing, you know. It gives you a lot of communications and so on. Yeah.
And how about actual non-illegal recordings? Are there any CDs that you've made with the orchestra that are legal that stick out in your mind as a particularly good recording, or that you were very happy with your read or something like that?
No answer.
No answer. Okay. Have you made any solo recordings, like with the orchestra, actually?
Yeah, we did the Mozart concert. It was a live recording. It's in the DZH, in the Digital Concert Hall, with Alan Gilbert. It was 2 years ago. And I did, you can see everything this, maybe many students and many clarinet players, even Broussier and Pascal, they have the page, you know, the DZH, the Digital Concert Hall. So I did open air concert, I did the Premiere Rhapsody, I did Preludium, Folk and Drifts from Bernstein, I did Mozart concert, I did Weber concert, number 2, number 1, and Finzi concert, and I don't know, some more. But you know, I'm not in the label. I have not a exclusive label. You know, I have not. Yeah, I do with different labels. You know? Of course, a lot of chamber music recordings with my colleagues. We have 3 or 4 chamber groups in the orchestra. With the guys I told you before, we entered this orchestra like Albrecht and so. And we just now made a recording with Introduction Allegro von Ravel with Emmanuel Bahu and Marie-Pierre. It will release this summer. And I can't say the label, but maybe I inform you in the future. Something will come out. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So now do you know offhand how many full-time professional orchestras are there in Germany?
Over 200, over 220.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now I never understand this. People always try to explain it to me, and I must be very, very slow. They're actually graded. They're categorized, right? Like at A, B, C, D, and,
yes.
and Berlin, of course, is in its own category, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, but then I'm told, this is the part I can never comprehend.
But don't ask me what is the best orchestra of the world.
No. Of course not. I would never.
But this is nonsense.
Would I be the kind of person to put someone on the spot? Come on, Wenzel, you know me.
Okay, I know.
But so now you have 5 clarinets in your section.
Yeah.
You have 2 equal principals. That means you play half the time. Okay.
Right.
Now, how many orchestras in Germany have that? Let's start with that. What sort of great orchestra would have that?
Yes. All the radio orchestras. And opera orchestras, for example, Staatsoper in Munich or Staatsoper in Berlin, they have 6, like Vienna Philharmonic.
Wow.
They have 6, 3 first and 3 seconds. Yeah. So because they need it, you know, you have Elektra, you have the big stuff, the Strauss stuff. So they have these numerous of planets. But the most big orchestras, A orchestras, have 5.
A orchestras. Okay.
A.
And so, like, obviously, you have a pretty busy life outside of the orchestra, and so does Andreas. So how do you is it difficult sometimes to kind of manipulate who has this week versus that week? And does that raise problems or questions, or is it just?
You mean to share with Andy, for example?
Yes.
To share, to bring out the 50%. No, at the moment, until now, it was never a problem because we are good friends. You know, he was also my student in the academy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we know each other so long time. I know when he was a child because I studied with Ernst. We had the same teacher with father. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, until now we have no problem about this.
Great.
No?
Yeah. No.
But we are very early. We are very early in planning. Very early.
Yes.
Sometimes it goes 3 years before for the future.
Oh, perfect.
3 years.
Perfect. Yeah. Great. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm curious about your party culture. You're always talking. You've been talking about that, and to me, it's mind blowing. I mean, when I was in Berlin, after every concert, you were having a backstage party, and it wasn't just potato chips and beer. I mean, it was stage bar and others. And I said, so is this a tradition that you have a party after every concert? He said, no, not at all. It's just we have a patron. He'll just say, okay, we're throwing a party for the orchestra. And it just seemed every single time I'm there's a party. And as you said with Claudio Botta, that doesn't seem very special. As you said, we met Simon Rattle, you go out afterwards. And I talked to some of the players that had come from other major international orchestras, and they said, you know, it's amazing because I've never been in an orchestra where even a sound check on tour is played like it's the most important concert in the world. They say it's always like that here. But then look at these guys; they're up till whatever hour drinking. You know, I mean, it seems, you know, it seems a particularly great of your orchestra.
One time I never forget, this was with Claudio, also Italy. I'm sorry, Lorenzo, but it was really a mess. The rehearsal, the general rehearsal, dress rehearsal was a mess because we had a meeting in Lingotto, and Agnelli family is the owner of Fiat, you know, and Ferrari, of course, Agnelli family. And they invited us, the whole orchestra was invited, and also Claudio, for a grappa party. Grappa, you know, grappa party. So a lot of grappi. We drink a lot of grappi. And the next day at 10 o'clock was rehearsal. And the half orchestra was on the stage. And Claudio was also there. And he was looking around. Oh, where is the horn? Where is the musicians? And then we canceled the rehearsal. There was no sound check. And just the concert. But normally we always have sound check. Even you have a single party. But what you think about party, it's different way of party and party. But it's just to drink after the concert, because this cantina in Berlin Philharmonic, it was genial from the architect, yeah, Mr. Sharon. He made the audience, the stage, and backstage is a big cantina, a big space. And so everybody meets everybody. When you go back, all this, the orchestra members, also the solists, the conductors, we are together. Not like in, for example, I don't know, in America, you have this small space sometimes behind the stage. There's nothing, yeah. So, but it's a huge space, and then we drink something. It's always full of not only members, also the audience come in. Yeah, it's full, and then that means party. That means just to drink something together. But then you meet many people from the audience, and then the party goes on. Yeah, that's the reason that it sounds like a party. Yeah, because we don't have to go out. We can stay in the hall, and they keep open the whole. If you want, they keep open the whole night.
Yeah,
it's 24 hours open then.
But I was also amazed at the audience. I remember one of the concerts I heard you play. It was a standard orchestra concert. I remember it was Daphnis and Chloe. I think it was Yannick Seguin conducting. And the first piece was the Berio Sequenza for clarinet, right? Who your E-flat player who just retired. I just forgot his name.
Walter Seifert.
Seifert, right? So you said that he asked to play it, and you said, "Be my guest." So here I was, packed symphony hall, standard orchestra concert, everyone in tie and suit, and there you have a contemporary woodwind solo player with about 10 music stands going. You could hear a pin drop. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
You could hear a pin drop, and as soon as it ended, just rapturous applause, like it was the greatest thing they've ever seen. You know, I just thought, how many audiences in the world can you fill up a house like that with a solo contemporary piece? And also the support of the colleagues was tremendous. Everyone was giving him colleagues backstage. I remember Carl Leister came back, Peter Geisler, who the retired second player, came backstage to support him. It was really memorable. I don't think I've experienced many of those kinds of concerts from an audience point of view. You know.
Yeah. I mean, Walter Seifert. I remember this situation. He asked me friendly, "Can I play this piece?" I said, "Okay, if you want, go on, go ahead, do it." And he did very well. I mean, he was not used to play this stuff, you know. Piano sequenza is not so easy. Yeah, it's a hard thing in this moment, you know. It's after sequenza was the Daphne and Chloe, right? I think. Daphne.
Yes, yeah, it was Daphne. I think.
Yes, I played this. Yes, and I think Walter, fantastic. You did a good job, no? You did a good job in America. You say you did a good job. What means you did a good job? It is, you know, it's American way to say. Do your members to decide you if you play Beethoven Symphony something, and you say hey, you did a good job, right? It's normal.
but you're saying you never pay compliments normally. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yes, it's the same, means the same.
Right.
Oh, just a minute. What? Nein. Yeah, so it's
everything okay? Oh, let's go.
No, hello.
Okay. You know, the other thing is also I remember in your home country, I arrived in Vienna, and the taxi driver is taking me to the hotel, and he said, "So what are you planning on doing in Vienna?" I said, "Well, I'm going to the opera tonight." And he goes, "Oh, you mean Electra?" And I thought to myself, I mean, even I come from New York, and you know, it's a reasonably cultured city. But if I was driving to the Met, most taxi drivers wouldn't say, "Oh, it's Electra tonight." Everyone knows that. I mean, I was absolutely flabbergasted.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, Vienna. I grown up there. I was 16 years there, and 12 years, but no, 16 years. But Vienna is a great city. I mean, so it's smelling. Music is smelling every small street, not street, Gasse, not Straße, Gasse, small way, you know.
Alleyway.
And all the names also, Mozartgasse, Heidengasse, Webergasse. And if you go around Vienna, you can feel this, yeah, you can smell this, you know. That's why also you have this Gassenhauer trio, you know, Beethoven. Gassenhauer, you know what means a Gassenhauer?
No.
Gassenhauer is just to sing a melody in the Gasse. Gasse in the street. You go out and sing something, yeah? And this is a Gassenhauer. You howl it out, you bring it out. And this thema, for example, is a Gassenhauer, yeah? And this is this Mozart time or a Beethoven time. And I mean, Vienna, I'm always happy to go there. And I think that every orchestra is happy to play in Vienna, especially the Musikverein, in the Golden Hall.
Yes.
Oh,
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And of course, but it's different. Berlin Philharmonic, for me, altogether, if you make a package, altogether, for me, is Berlin Philharmonic the best I know, because it's a good acoustic. You can hear on the stage very well. You can hear outside very differently, and it sounds good. Not dry. It's not over acoustic. It's perfect acoustic, and the atmosphere is great. But you know, it's a modern hall. So like also the new hall in Hamburg, also Suntory Hall in Tokyo. It's a fantastic hall. This is many halls are a copy of the Berlin Philharmonic. You know, this center audience, center stage, and then the audience around. This is really a unicum. They started with Berlin Philharmonic like this. And but the Musikverein, if you go to the Golden Hall, and everybody knows the New Year's concert of the Vienna Philharmonic, you see the golden naked woman on the wall, the statues, yeah. And this aura. You go in and, for example, you take a different dress. If you go, if you're in the audience and you go in Vienna to the concert, you automatically you take a tie and a jacket. If you go in the modern hall, you can go more leisure. Yeah? It's in the head. You go there and you expect something more, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But it's really, but you know the situation. You have been there. You played there several times, right?
Yeah. So I mean, if your favorite hall to play in is your own, when you tour, I mean, I'm very lucky, you see, because my hall is very far from my favorite hall. So when we tour, I'm almost always happy. Okay, but you're very unlucky because you play in such a good hall. So when you tour, do you feel like it's a little bit more of a struggle to play well, or?
No. I mean, I'm now in my brain. I'm disturbed because I cannot go on tour. You know, everybody's destroyed in the brain because I want to go on tour. I want to play. I want to go in the Carnegie Hall. We plan to have a tour in New York and a US tour in November. But okay, it's definitely it's cancelled. But it's so great to play in so different, fantastic halls, like in Boston Symphony. It's fantastic. Or you to play in Tokyo Santorini Hall, what I told before. Or you play in Hamburg Elbphilharmonie, or in Luzern Festival, the new hall, KKL. Or you play in the old opera house like in Milano Scala. Of course, the acoustic is always a little bit problematical. If you play in the Scala Milano, it's very secco, very dry. So it's not so comfortable to play on the stage. Yeah. But for example, compared to Milano Scala in Palermo, Teatro Massimo, the acoustic was not so dry. It was fantastic. Of course, maybe my eyes, I looked on the wall and everything was golden and beautiful. And then you change your mind. Maybe then it's a kind of placebo effect, you know, maybe. And I was last year, I was just visiting the concert in Napoli, San Carlo, Teatro San Carlo. Beautiful. But I listened to the orchestra. It is, I think it's one of the biggest, the tallest opera houses, I think, or I think so. And
he says yes, so he never,
yes, okay,
never lies.
He must know. But I listened the Sixth of Mahler Symphony with the Orchestra San Carlo, and the same. I was invited, and I thought, oh yeah, it's very secco, very dry. And I remember I was playing the same symphony with Claudio 15 years ago. The same symphony I was playing, and now I was in the audience. And then we start to play the beginning, the cello, bum, 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 dum, and we started to play. And Claudio, this is a point with accent, yeah, in the cello, yeah. They start this walking, and it was so secco. And Claudio said, oh, no sound. And finally they played wah 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 because the acoustic is so dry. And they did exactly what is written. And I understand what Claudio meant. It sounds secco, and it is very hard to play. But anyway, it's great to play. To have the opportunity to play these fantastic halls. I mean, in South America, in Buenos Aires, Teatro Colón, I played there also. Fantastic acoustic.
Yes.
The chairs, the old style. With Claudio, I was there. And I remember this time when we have been in Teatro Colón, Beethoven's Sixth Symphony. I was just alone on the principal clarinet, and I invited Philippe Cuper. You know Philippe? Of course, you know Philippe. He played the other parts, the other concerts. You know, so we shared. So we invited sometimes on the principal position French clarinet players, French system players. For example, Ricardo Morales. I invited him, and Pascal Martinez, Pascal Moraguez. They played in my Carbonari played one concert, and because in this time when I was alone, I just had to play 50%, and the other 50% I could decide who is playing, you know. So that's why I invited these guys, these friends, and I didn't care, man. I know he's a good clarinet player. I didn't care about the system, so I invited them, and it was a nice experience. And then after the position was occupied by Karl-Heinz Steffens. Then,
Yes.
and then Steffens quitted because he's a conductor now, and then Andy came.
Yeah. So, how are you let's just, we'll wind down with a few questions on your playing. So how are you keeping your standard up? Are there warm-ups? Are there exercises that you tell students to do? What's the kind of bread and butter way that you keep up your standard after 30 plus years of, you know?
You mean not in the corona time or generally?
Generally.
Okay.
I know you're doing gardening now. I mean, we're not.
Okay. For me, it's very important the basics, to always work on basics in a slow mood. Basics is scale slowly and listen the each single note, and with a lot of air, breathing out and in, and going with the music and moving with the music. I mean, what you said before about moving, you don't have to move so much. Somebody moves more, some less. It's not so important, but you have to move with the air, with the music, like waves. And for example, to practice slowly, it's much better than do quick. I know in this time, many people have fantastic fingers. I mean, the young generation is amazing, much better than the old generation. And if you listen to young students, when I started in Vienna, I was the first guy who played the Nielsen concert and Frossex concert. Frossex. I was the first guy in the class. And now everybody have to play. Everybody. It's normal. And fingering is good, but I think the sound and the quality of the sound and it's like a big bed, It has to fit in, not only, and the colors. For example, for me, I can't hear only quick. It's not enough, I think. To play in many different colors, like vocals, A, E, I, O, U. You have to bring it out more narrow, more bright, more dark. Only dark. The time is over. It's boring, It's like the weather. Only cloudy is not good. But you have to be flexible here. And I think you can't get the flexibility when you play just quick. You can get the flexibility when you listen in a slow mood, even scales. I do a lot of scales or flute scales, for example, Reichert, because my wife is a flute player. So, but I for example, and then if the legato is not good, I repeat the one jump and again. And I thought that many violin players, for example, they play just to try to bring out a fantastic portamento. They're practicing half an hour, 40 minutes for just one slice to bring it out in a good way. And that's the small moments, the sound moments who make you happy, not, oh, I'm quicker than you, okay. And for me, for example, if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. What's so wrong to make a mistake? To make a mistake is it's human being, Of course, now the problem is the internet. You can compare everything with all the recordings, and then you play a concert, and automatically after the concert, the people go home and compare with the 50 other same pieces in the internet, and then they put in, oh, this was better. Is this the way what we want? I don't think so. We have to play again with audience. This is the most important thing. What we try to do to bring it back, this audience normal situation. But this practice, this basic works for me is really number one. For me, then you don't have to practice all the orchestral literature, Beethoven symphonies. If you know, or even Spohr concerts or Weber concerts, you don't have to practice anymore so much, Musical, yes, but technical. If you practice the basics, the scales, and so, everything is scale, I think, and sound, I think, and long tones also, of course, long tones, not pa. with the development, go back as much as you can until niente, and then you make the low connection high, and with the air. But without air is no connection, you know. That's why I think, and I try always to find a way to play like, to take the bow, yeah, the bow like a bow is the air for me. I look mainly, I look as in the internet or in YouTube, singers, how they manage the connections, musical connections, or the right hand bow, yeah. When you play upbeat or a downbeat, it's very interesting to put your music in the vision for a string player. Yeah. For example, Brahms sonatas. I prefer the music of the viola player. Now, I did in my student class, I invited viola players in my clarinet class in Salzburg. We did Brahms sonatas, and it was amazing. The viola player played and then the clarinet player oh, why you play like this? And then the viola player and why we should take the same emotion, like don't think about the bad notes in the clarinet. There's no clarinet perfect instrument, it does not exist. But if you play a lot of energy, you overblow the problems. You blow the problems away. I think it's exactly the same when you have a bad reed. If you have a bad reed and you think you have a bad reed, the reed is very strong and fight against you. If you have a bad reed and you think, I can't do anything, I have to play, nobody cares outside. You have to blow away the problems of the reed, and then you are the driver, not the reed is the driver. You understand what I mean?
Easy to understand, not so
easy. I know I'm speaking very quick always. My mother always said to me, you speak so quick. I said to my mother, because you also speak very quick. That's I got from her.
Well, that's good. I'm never accused of speaking quick, so I wouldn't know what that's like. So now, how does that work in Germany? I think you're not allowed to have two jobs. Like you can't be in an orchestra and also be a professor. So you are a professor in Salzburg, and that's in another country. And then what? It's a part-time job in the academy. Is that what it is?
No, the system is like, if you have a full position in the orchestra in Germany, yeah, you can just have a half position in Germany, half professor position. Okay. But if you have the position over the country line in Austria, I have a full position in Salzburg University and a full position in Germany in Berlin Philharmonic. I can do it, but you know, I have my position in Salzburg is like this. I have an assistant. Dario Zingales, he's Italian guy from Sicilia, but he is like a German, like he's organized 100%. He knows so like Lorenzo he knows about computer, right? Very good. And he is checking up everything, and he's so controlled. It is so nice to work together with him. So I think we are a good team. And I'm there every 2 weeks. I go there for 2 days or 3 days. And if I'm not, but he's teaching every second day. So we are together, all the students together. And I have 9 students. And if I'm not there for 3 weeks, for example, we have tour with Berlin Philharmonic, and then I'm not there. So and then, for example, when in November, we plan to go to New York, I told you. And always when we have a big tour with the orchestra, I plan to invite somebody to make a master class to feed my students. Last year was, next year this year with Ricardo Morales, he will come. Next year, Frank Cohen, I invited him. And also E-flat clarinet players like Walter Seifert and from Concertgebouw. I will always make something, when I'm not there, make the time interesting for the students, to give them some motivations, you know. And so maybe you can come also in the next future to make a master class. Why not? Yeah, if you want. Yeah. If Corona is gone, if you have a,
we'll see. Thank you. That's just phenomenal. I mean, usually what I would ask you is, what kind of comments do you, well, I guess someone like you who teaches a lot, all over the place, giving masterclasses and stuff. Oh, actually, before we go on, and in the Berlin Academy, how many students do you have?
2.
I see. And
they are taught by the whole group. So it was the old style was like this. I could decide because the principal, the players, me and Andy, we are teaching the students. But now we decided, because we are not so often here, we decided to change the rule. And now I say to my group, it's better to that Walter Seifer teach the E-flat clarinet and Manfred Preis the bass clarinet. We have to teach all to teach them. Yeah, so they have a more motivation, and they play the orchestra. Of course, they play beside us. They make recordings, they make tours, and they're like members these 2 years. But after 2 years, they have to leave the orchestra. And somebody get crazy because this is a mistake. It's a misunderstanding of the world. Of some people, some students, they come out and they think they are philharmonics, but they are not philharmonics. They are just students. And after 2 years, they go out and they are the same level like the others. You know, they have to make an audition like everybody. But somebody get crazy, huh?
Yeah. And they're all international. Like in Salzburg, they come from all around the world. Your students, or?
Yeah, I have one guy from Salerno, Andrea Caputo, and one from Montpellier, one from Corsica, one from 2 from Slovenia, and one girl from Poland, and one Serbian guy.
Wow.
Or we have next time we have no German and no Austrian in my class.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, I can't say the reason. You know, as I told you before, for me it's not so important to do the system, and then if we have the audition for the position for 2 or 3 places, the best one will get the position. Why I should take another guy because only German clarinet, only Austrian clarinet, when I do not feel well, so I have to feel well also, and that's why this situation is like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to. I would accept everybody if they are good.
Great. And so you might have answered it already, but having taught around the world and obviously hearing clarinet players from all around the world all the time, what are some of the commonalities that what are the kind of things you'd like to change, or that when you give master classes, you find yourself generally talking about?
I can feel that, of course, what I told you before, many students, many young people, they compare everything, they take everything from the internet, from the recording, they make copies from this and copies. You can hear immediately. You see the body moving, and so, oh yes, you like this. To make a copy is not bad, but don't forget your own philosophy, your own individuality. And if you forget this, then the copy is not so good like the original. Normally, we say, yeah. And so, if you make something, take out of the recording. You can take the good things. Why not? You can take, but then you have to start and bring your music and your individuality into it. Yeah, I think it's very important, and play free, not okay, I have to move like this because I know this recording is like, and he moved like this. No, feel free, and like you go out in a good weather, and then you say, wow, yeah, go out, and if you, in this moment, if you want to scream, why not? And you have to bring all these emotions, I think, individually into the music. Your emotion, your momentary emotion. You never can say, oh, I had a rehearsal, I play like this, and in the concert I play like this, like I play the same. And mostly you have to play different in your concert, I think. And if you are free, you're 100% different because you have the audience. You have this aura from the audience, and you go on the stage. Maybe you are more nervous, but what means nervosity? Nervosity for me is motivation, and of course, if you think you're nervous and you always say, "I'm nervous," oh my God, then you get stuck a little bit. You get nervous, and the fingers make cracks a little bit. But in the other hand, I think the body, the natural in the brain, automatically, the brain is working a different way. If you have something, comes something out, and the brain not really what you want, but you think too much. But if you are free, you let the brain go on, and you feel this atmosphere. You go out, and suddenly you are on the skateboard, on the waves. The audience carries you, I think. It could be that the board goes underwater. It could be, yeah, that you get so nervous. But generally, I think you should let you carry from the momentum situation, from the concert atmosphere. I think it's very important. That's why now it's so difficult to play in good mood the concerts. You go out, and now you can hear if you put something on the floor, because nothing is there, and you start, and you don't know when you start, and you don't know after a concert, you don't know how you get out. It's finished now, or it is so strange, and that is not good for the motivation at the moment. Yes. And then in this situation now, we have to think in another. You have to take the motivation from other things, but because for online, you know, you play now online worldwide, but anyway, it's different to play a concert with the audience, and just what I told before, let your body carry, let you carry from the audience, yeah. And
yeah, I mentioned we were doing some videos, sometimes connecting us with the audience early on during this, and sometimes people would interview you or whatever, what's going on the radio, and I really wanted to impress on the audience how much we miss them and how much they contribute to us. You know, there's a different. In fact, you mentioned the Musikverein. I remember playing there. I don't know if it was my imagination, but it seems when you're on stage, the lights are a little brighter in the audience than I'm used to seeing, and you actually see the facial reactions, and you play off of it, and they play off of you, and the energy, you know, goes both ways. And you know, I think it's really important for the audience to understand. I mean, there you are, and your tail's up there, and often they don't get to know the players, but actually they bring a lot to the performers, and then hopefully we bring a little more back to them, and so forth.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know how is the situation in Hong Kong when you play concert. The audience is dark. Is it dark in the audience?
Yes.
Oh, yes, but not in the Musikverein, not in Berlin Philharmonic. It's always bright. You mean this? You see the faces of the audience.
Yes. I've played in the Musikverein, and I've sat in the audience of the Berlin Philharmonic. Yeah. We're not playing this year, are we?
No, it's concert house.
We're playing the concert house in May. But anyway, so I've rarely had that experience where you can really see the faces of the audience in an orchestral concert. It's magical. It's completely different experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like to play to the darkness. I don't like so much. I want to see the people. Not too bright, of course, not too bright, but a little bit. I want to see there is somebody. But if you're totally dark, it is like the same like now. You have nobody in the audience. It's a very similar situation.
So, Wenzel, I mean, this has been really, first of all, I think the beginning of the conversation was so important and so informative right now in this period. So thank you so much for just letting us know what's going on with really, I mean, role models in the orchestral world, and, you know, all these great entertaining stories and showing us your house and everything like that. Is there any last thing, especially now in the coronavirus or anything else that you'd like to just pass on to young people, just philosophies, goals, attitudes, any advice that you would like to pass on?
I would say, you know, we are so shocked about everything, but don't lose your humor, and don't lose to fight against the bad situations. And we have to every single moment, every solution we goes this direction, we have to try out, and we have to find together a way. And I'm sure when we do not give up, we can get it. And you know, like there is something more. Just a moment. I'll show you something.
As long as it's not a snake. I don't like snakes. Nice cat.
That's my cat. Yeah. They don't care. They don't know about this, you know. But anyway, don't. So I'm back now. Okay.
You were getting me nervous, man, walking around all the time. Okay.
Why?
I don't know.
No, but I hope that we are very soon can get together, can meet everybody, and physically, physically. And my situation, I'm teaching since 2 months. That not in online. I go to Salzburg,
Okay.
And you know what they're doing tonight? I go for a Japanese meeting with Daichin Kashimoto. We have a sake party, another party. Yes, it's my wife. Hey.
Hi. How are you?
So.
Great.
No.
Okay, Wenzel, go back and sit down for 1 second, okay? We're going to thank you. Listen, thank you so much. This was really terrific interview and so great being with you. And I just want to say a few things to the audience. I've been going back to all of these interviews. I listen again and I take notes. I mean, it's really amazing. You look back and say, wow, there's really a lot to learn here. And I also want to say that we just started a Facebook page, right? Andy's Licorice Talk. We're starting to put all the previous interviews slightly edited. It'll tell you who's coming next. We're doing other videos during this virus.
Okay.
Little teaching things, little things promoting Hong Kong, which has been getting a bad rap in the last year in the media. So please, everyone, like that if you can on Facebook. And Wenzel, what can I say, man? I can't wait to see you when things are a little bit more normal, and you know, take care. And there you are, partying again tonight.
Thank you so much, and good luck. Take care, everybody. Yeah.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
but before you say goodbye, you said humor is very important in this period. So you still have your mask? Do you have your mask there at the desk?
Of course.
Okay, put it on for us.
That was a Mozart mask.
Okay, very good. So there you have it. Wenzel Fuchs is having a very, very good sense of humor, even in this period of time.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Wenzel, so nice to see you again. See you soon.
Enjoy the summer. Okay,
Yes,
bye-bye.
Okay, man, bye.